The rain always sounded different in the village. It was softer there, like a gentle hand drumming on the earth, soaking into red soil, feeding the crops. But in the city, rain fell hard, loud and angry, slamming against tin roofs, spilling into gutters, flooding the streets. That night, the rain in the city was not only loud, it was cruel. And under that cruel rain, a woman stood barefoot, shivering and alone. Her thin wrapper clung to her body. The wind pushed against her like it wanted her to fall. That woman was Mama Grace. Years before that night, the world was very different for Mama Grace. She lived in a small, quiet village where everyone knew everyone. Her house was simple, a mud hut with a thatched roof, a small clay cooking stove outside, and a wooden bench under the mango tree. Her husband, Peter, had been a farmer. He had a laugh that could fill the air and a strong back that could work from sunrise to sunset. But life had been unfair. One rainy season, fever took him away. Their only son, Shidi, was just 2 years old. Mama Grace remembered that day as if it was carved into her bones. She had sat beside Peter's still body, holding baby Shidi, feeling as though the earth had split under her feet. There was no time to grieve. There was only time to survive. From then on, Mama Grace worked anywhere she could. She bent her back on other people's farms under the scorching sun. She fetched water from far-off wells, carrying heavy jerry cans that cut into her shoulders. She washed clothes by the river, her fingers wrinkled and sore. She often skipped meals so Shidi could eat. Some nights she would sit in the dark, her stomach empty, but her heart refusing to give up. She would look at her boy sleeping on the mat and whisper, "God, give me strength for him." Shidi grew up seeing his mother's struggle. Even as a child, he noticed the calluses on her hands, the way her back bent after long days. Once, when he was 10, he found her sitting by the fire, her face pale with hunger. "Mama, did you eat today?" he asked. She smiled softly. "Don't worry about me, my son." "But I will make you proud," he promised. Mama Grace looked at him, her eyes full of tired love. "Just become a good man. That is enough for me." By the grace of God, Shidi was smart. He studied under the dim light of a kerosene lamp, often with the sounds of crickets as his only company. Books were few, but he read them over and over. His teachers saw something in him, a spark, a hunger for knowledge. One day, the school headmaster called Mama Grace. "Your son has been given a scholarship to study in the city," he announced. Mama Grace's heart swelled with joy and fear. Joy because her boy's future was opening. Fear because the city was far and the world there was different. The day he left, she pressed her last 500 naira into his hand, along with her small Bible. "Remember where you come from, my son," she said. The city was loud, fast, and full of bright lights. Shidi quickly adapted. He studied hard, but he also learned the ways of the city, its sharp suits, its quick deals, its hunger for money. Years passed. He graduated, got a good job, started a business. Soon he was rich. Cars, houses, fine clothes, all became part of his life. People now called him Sir Shidi. He married Amara, a beautiful city woman with skin like polished bronze and eyes that always seemed to judge. She loved luxury, fine dining, and expensive perfumes. At first, Shidi brought Mama Grace to live with them in the city. She was happy to be close to her son again, though the noise and pace of the city overwhelmed her. She kept to herself, wearing her village wrapper, cooking her traditional dishes, praying in the early mornings. But Amara grew restless. She disliked Mama Grace's village ways. Why is she always sitting there? Why does she pray so loud? Why does she wear that old wrapper in my house? She complained. Shidi tried to defend his mother, but slowly Amara's words wore him down. Mama Grace, sensing the tension, kept quiet. She never wanted to cause trouble. It was a night when the sky itself seemed angry. Rain poured in sheets, the wind howled through the streets. Mama Grace sat quietly in a corner of the living room, praying softly. Amara burst in, her voice sharp. This woman must leave this house today. I can't take this nonsense anymore. When Shidi came home, wet from the rain, Amara gave him an ultimatum. It's either me or your mother. Mama Grace looked at her son. Shidi stood silent for a long moment. Then he said the words that broke her heart. Mama, please go outside. I will talk to you later. She whispered, but it's raining. Please, Mama, he repeated, his voice low. Without another word, Mama Grace stood. She walked barefoot into the storm, the cold water soaking her wrapper. She stood by the gates, shivering, her teeth chattering. People passed by but did not stop. Inside the house, laughter came from Amara's phone as she chatted with friends. Shidi sat on the sofa, his heart heavy but his pride silent. Hours passed. Mama Grace's strength faded. By midnight, she collapsed by the gates. Morning came with pale light and quieter rain. A kind neighbor, Mrs. Nwoko, saw her lying on the ground. Oh God, she cried, rushing to her side. Within minutes, they carried Mama Grace to the hospital. When Shidi got the call, his chest tightened with dread. He ran, ignoring traffic, until he reached the hospital. There, he found her lying still, tubes in her nose, machines beeping. Mama, please don't leave me. I am sorry, he wept, kneeling beside her bed. The doctor's words were grim. She's very weak. We don't know if she will survive. Shidi refused to leave her side. He cleaned her face, prayed for her, remembered every sacrifice she had made. The image of her working under the sun, selling her last wrapper for his school fees, refusing to eat so those memories tore him apart. Something inside him broke. That night, he went home, packed his bags, and told Amara, "You destroyed my heart. You made me treat my mother like an animal. I choose my mother." The next morning, divorce papers were on Amara's table. Shidi moved into a small house near the hospital. He cooked for Mama Grace, cleaned her, prayed by her bed. One morning, as he sang softly beside her, her eyes opened. "Shidi, is that you?" Tears streamed down his face. "Yes, Mama, please forgive me." Mama Grace smiled weakly. "I forgave you before you asked. I am your mother. My love for you can never die." From that day, Shidi changed. He built her a new house, hired nurses, treated her like a queen. Months later, Mama Grace was strong again. Her joy was not in money, but in the heart of her son. Shidi started the Mama Grace Foundation to help widows and orphans. At every event, he would say, "If your mother is still alive, love her now. Don't wait until regret comes."